Alright, last game. Get to be on the play. See what happens here. Sure.
Alright, this looks like a good mix of lands and spells, so I will keep.
Alright, well, I got Mystic. 5 games in a row.
Alright, you're
I'm
at
at 19.
You're at 19. I'm gonna wild slash it.
It's dead.
Here we go.
Didn't need it anyways.
Lucky.
18.
Alright, you're at 18. Tap draw, and I'm just gonna play an Eidolon of the Great Rebel and say go.
I'll scry.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna end up wanting that in the long run, so I'm gonna keep it.
Okay.
And then I'll pass the turn.
Alright, so we're gonna play Abbot of Carol Keep, taking 2. That's 16 or 18. Dealing a heel cutter, which I will not be playing. And I guess I should probably play around Anger the Gods. So do I want to deal myself 2 damage to deal you 1 damage? I guess the answer is probably yeah. I'll go ahead and dash a Lightning Berserker, so I go to 16, and then send.
I'll block here, and then we're gonna roar this guy Rebellion Dragon.
Alright,
So I'll go to 16, you'll go to 13.
13 to 16. Alright, so this is back in my hand, this is dead. And go. One thing I want to point about Abbot is a lot of people try to save Abbot as long as possible as like a to get value out of the card, but Mono Red's not a deck that's aiming to get value. You're trying to kill your opponent, so.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hornet's Nest, eh? Alright, well that was not what we wanted to see.
Yeah, with the inclusion of Exquisite Firecraft, just like fetching here, playing the dragon, and then just like letting you kill it and attack me with a 3-power guy just doesn't seem like something I want to do right now.
Alright, attack. Okay.
We'll get a couple bees.
So I don't really have any way to get past that Hornet Nest, and I just exiled one of my heel cutters, so I don't think that trying to play through it is right. I think instead it's just better to do basically what I did there. And then I'm just going to play a Lightning Berserker and then play an Eidolon. So now like we're just going to have to grind through these bees, which isn't exactly where I want it to be, but
It's not where you want it to be.
it's not where I want it to be. But I think we have a better shot of winning that way than anything else.
That's an interesting card. Alright, well, we'll fetch.
So 15. An interesting card, you say?
I think here is the turn where we want to get this dragon out. Because we don't want the game to drag out. And then I'll pass the turn. We're going to leave our B's back on D.
Old BBD. So I can do this. Doesn't seem maybe that. I don't know. I'm at 13. You're at 15.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. You have 2 cards in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pretty unbelievable board state.
Oh, believe it.
I can take it or believe it. I guess I kill your Thunderbreak Regent.
So you're going to take 5 total?
Yep, we go to 8. And attack with everything.
Actually, since he's at 8, it might be worthwhile to leave this Eidolon on the battlefield. Excuse me. This is actually pretty interesting. So I could just like block the Berserker and the Abbot here and block the Eidolon with the Caryatid. It would just like try and lock him under his own Eidolon. I like that.
Okay. Alright, so I will take 2 more damage and play Zergo. That's 6.
Yep.
Your turn.
Because our Caryatid can just like block his Eidolon indefinitely here. And actually this guy can block that Zergo indefinitely too.
You do take 2.
Yep.
So you're 13.
And then I'll pass the turn.
Alright, this is where a heel cutter / Thunderbreak region would be great.
You mean this guy?
Yeah, that guy. Huh. Alright, so 13.
I'll take a Dramoka.
I'm just gonna say go. I don't think it's worth like killing myself.
Go ahead.
Draw.
Hope your hand is like 3 Zergos.
Alright, I will take 2 to cast this though. Go to 4, because that thing can actually attack through. I'm not going to dash it because I don't have to cast it every single turn, but go.
You're at 4.
Yep.
Alright.
I recommend using that at your earliest convenience.
You do?
I do.
You have 2 cards?
Yep.
Well, I don't think that I can just like play around a Thunderbreak region at this point. So I will just pass.
Okay. Tap and draw. Play a land, go to combat.
Alright, inside your combat step, we're going to take 3 total, and I'm going to encase this guy.
Okay, so you are at 10?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been tapped down. I'll say go. I just need him to break off a bunch and me to draw something big. Go ahead.
I'll take a Haven. Thunderbreak. Good.
Draw. I'll take a dragon. Go ahead. We're both trying to draw the exact same card.
Yeah, we're both trying to draw Thunderbreak Dragon.
I'll dash a heel cutter.
Yep.
So it's still not CMC 3 even when you dash it because it's a just casting it for an alternate cost.
Correct.
And I'll attack with all 3 of these. Fortunately, Caryatid is hexproof, so I cannot make it unable to block. Okay. So you take 2. Go down to 8.
Yeah.
And oh, this is gonna go back to my hand.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Let's just do this. You have 3 cards?
I do. I have 3 powerful magic cards.
I'll cast that, I guess.
Sure.
Ah! So I can make a satyr and attack you to 2. And then you're locked under your Eidolon. But you could have, like, Stoke the Flames. But I'll make a satyr.
Okay.
Combat.
Sure.
Attack you for 2.
Alright, we have a decision to make here. So, it looks like I'm going to be going to 2 either way. So I'm going to Wild Slash the Satyr. Don't do it. Alright, you take 2.
Go to 6. Go ahead. I guess I'm just dead to Stoke the Flames.
Alright. Untap.
There's no way around that.
Draw. That was not what the doctor ordered. I'll go ahead and dash a Heel Cutter. 6. Attack you with Zergo, Xenagos with Heel Cutter. Okay. Character dies. I'll say go.
Bottom.
Okay.
You have 3 cards.
I have 3 cards.
Oh, man. Alright, well. This is just the worst. Like, I'm just sure you have another spell, a burn spell. So I guess I could just make a satyr and then pass. He dashes. Put the satyr on Zergo. Well, no, you can make the satyr not be able to attack. I'm not be able to block. Yeah, that's a losing prospect. You have 3 cards?
3. 3 of the finest Magic the Gathering cards. One of them is this beast.
So I don't think that sitting back is a winning prospect at this point.
I think we need to rename this card Eidolon of the Mediocre Revel.
Yeah. Although I could just put a satyr into play and pass. And then there's no way that he can kill Xenagos without attacking with his Eidolon. I think that's right. Go.
Okay. Alright, untap, draw. Interesting game.
That's a good word for it.
I'll cast Heel Cutter and say go.
All right.
If I attack, he can just block with Caryatid. I would have to attack with everything to kill Xenagos. He can block with Caryatid.
Let the Xenagos die.
Let the Xenagos die and kill me with the Satyr.
Yep.
But I have to have 2 blockers back. And well, Zergo unfortunately can't block very well. If he could block, this game would be much different. So, go. Brick off and die. Well, not die, but brick off and brick.
So I think that I just have to make a Satyr here.
Okay.
I think we're just in the same spot where I have to pass. I don't want to go down to 4. Although I'm already dead to a Stoke the Flames, as is. You can just send them all at me, make a Satyr not be able to block. But having this in play doesn't really do anything, so I'll just pass.
Okay. On top. And draw. 6. Okay. Attack with everything. Satyr can't block.
At me?
At you.
Block like that.
Okay, you go to 4. I'm gonna cast Fire Drinker Satyr.
Trigger Eidolon of the Great Revel?
I'm gonna respond to the trigger
Sure.
by lightning striking you,
Alright.
triggering this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna respond to the trigger by lightning striking you again,
Yep.
triggering this, and I'm going to wish that I could still cast this, but I can't. So.
I just had this forever. I just could never do anything.
Oh yeah,
It was just never right to cast it.
yeah. I needed to just draw a 4-point burn spell.
Yep. But it had to be Stoke.
That's true. It had to be Stoke.
Yeah, so that was dead to exactly Stoke.
Yep.
For
Or
many turns, actually.
basically Stoke or Thunderbreak Regent. I think would have been enough.
I mean, yeah, Thunderbreak would have been a lot, I guess.
Yep. All right, so we were able to send CVM off the way he came in here, 4 points at a time. So
Yeah.
just instead of Stormbreath Dragon, it was Stoke the Flames and Exquisite Firecraft. But
There's some good Magic cards.
yeah, so tell us about Temur Dragons.
I mean, we saw what happened. I don't think there's much else to be said. Although, to be fair, my draws were all pretty poor, but I think this deck was initially set up very poorly against the red deck.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there aren't any 1-mana removal spells in the entire 75. So we are just constantly off-tempo. I think that's a big mistake. I have to imagine that this gentleman did not play against Mono Red in his quest to 11th place at the Premier IQ this last weekend in Charlotte.
Yep.
Although he might have played against Mono Red, and those were the decks he lost to. That would be my guess.
It's possible, yeah.
I think that if I were to play, some type of Dragons deck, be it Green Red or Temur, I would want to have, multiple Wild Slash or Magma Spray in the deck somewhere.
Yes, Spray seems really good right now.
Spray is very good. Hangerback Walker can be a pain.
Yep. Death Mist and stuff too.
Yep.
Excuse me. Yeah, the red deck is pretty straightforward.
Still good.
Yeah, it's still good. One thing that I want to say that I kind of mentioned during the videos, but I think you want to play the deck like very aggressively, if that's a word. Like, you don't want to try to you're not trying to get value out of your cards. Like that one game where he angered away
as much damage as possible.
Yeah, you angered away a bunch of my guys, and I still was able to win because it didn't matter that you 3-for-1 me there because I still dealt you a bunch of damage. And that's kind of how this deck works. And that's one of the things I think that Abbott is oftentimes the best turn 2 play in the deck, even if you have other things you can do that turn. Just having him in play as a prowess 2-drop is really important.
Yeah, he does a lot of damage.
Yeah, and it's like you're missing out on like maybe you get to like draw a land later in the game with him or something, but like you're trying to keep the game from even ever getting to that point. So I think it's important to play. You're not playing for the long game. You're just trying to win the game. So I mean, I would play like an Eidolon over an Abbott on turn 2, generally speaking, but still, like that's kind of the idea. Is like, don't worry about trying to get value out of your cards. For the most part, you're just trying to. I mean, like if you can get value and still do a bunch of damage, then do that. But that's not really the key. So.
Yeah, I think that the red deck is still very good. I feel like I don't want to say that there isn't a lot of hate for it, but the way these red decks are set up is it's difficult to hate it out like you did with the token space. Like with the token space strategy, like you could use cards like Anger or Seismic Rupture,
Drown in Sorrow,
cards like Courser Prufix, Sylvan Caryatid were both like really good against those decks.
Yeah.
But as we saw here, like now that there's an extra 4 damage burn spell, Courser's not that big of a deal. Cards like Abbott and Swift Spear are much easier to attack through a Sylvan Caryatid than you would be able to with all your 1/1 tokens or the creature setup that they had before. Like this deck is just much better against the common hate type cards that you would expect to see.
Yeah, where this deck runs into issues is like Dromoka's commands are good against the deck because they can kill Eidolons and other creatures and they can counter the big burn spells. Mm-hmm. Things like Siege Rhino, etc. are still very good against the deck. But yeah, I mean it's not like people aren't really gunning for mono red right now because it kind of fell off after the Pro Tour. Yep. I think it's still a good deck, but I don't know if it's the right deck to play right now. It just really depends on what people bring to the table. If people are bringing things like dragons or things like of that nature, then I think that mono red's a good choice against decks like that.
Or like blue-black or whatever.
Yeah, but if people are bringing like Hangerback Walkers and Dromoka's commands, then it might not be the best choice in that regard, especially if backed up with like Siege Rhinos and Sorens and things. So really just kind of depends. I mean, it's kind of like every deck in Standard. It's just all contextual. Depends on the format.
Yeah, that's why I think that in formats like that, I prefer to just play very powerful, proactive strategies.
Yep.
Abzan Aggro, Abzan Control, which is a proactive deck, even though it does have control in its name. Green-Red Devotion, different types of Dragons decks. Like I think those decks are always going to be a very solid choice. I actually think the mono red deck for the Invitational this weekend is a good choice. If you want to top 8, having a standard deck that you feel confident going 6-2 with is pretty important. And I think the mono red deck is a very good 6-2 deck for this weekend.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of free wins, and people aren't specifically thinking about it right now, which is usually the time where it's good to come back.
Yep. So this weekend, as we alluded to, is the Season 3 Invitational in New Jersey.
Which should be going on basically right around the time this video comes out.
Yep. This is my last video here in the offices at Star City. This will be my last Invitational when living on the East Coast. So make sure you stop by and say hello in Jersey this weekend, which is kind of weird considering this is being aired while you're already in Jersey. But yeah, these decks are, well, that deck's very good. This deck is Temur Dragons. That's what I'll say about it. Again, I've been very vocal on my opinions for it in the past. I was glad to not see Savage Knuckleblade in the deck, but I think that it just pales in comparison when you look at, like, say the green-red deck that Juza top-8'd the Grand Prix in London with. Like, I think that deck is much better than this deck against every deck in Standard.
Yeah, I mean, you just have more consistency, and you're not really losing out on power level. So
yeah. So for those of you who are watching on YouTube and not on StarCityGames.com, underneath our smiling faces, there are some panels so you can check out some previous Versus videos. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, as well as post in the chat what you would like to see coming out of the Select Side Versus videos. I know Cedric has some things coming down the pipe once I'm gone. I know Brian and I are going to work on some type of collaborative content since there are enough of you that like seeing us bumble through games of Magic that we might see what we can put together there. But yeah, some interesting things coming up.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably going to be a couple weeks of break before the next Select versus videos while things are getting shifted around. So maybe next week there won't be a video. Maybe in 2 weeks there still won't be a video. But at some point in time, things are going to keep rolling again. So don't write off the Select versus videos, even though CVM is going to be gone. We're still going to make them, and like CVM said, we're going to try to put together some more content for you guys in other ways as well, even though we'll be halfway across. By halfway, I mean fully across the country. So
we got the internet. That's all you need.
Yep.
As well as there's still going to be the premium side videos, so make sure you check out people over there, Brad Nelson, Todd Anderson, Tom Ross, and this dude.
Yep.
Bradley Braun-Duin.
That's my name. That's what my parents called me.
So thank you very much, everybody. It's been an amazing, almost 2 years since we started doing BBD versus CVM, and all of you guys have made it possible by continuing to tune in each week, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, there have been some ups and a lot of downs, but it has been a lot of fun. So glad that we could do this for a few years, and hopefully your move to Seattle works out well for you. And
I hope.
and that you can keep doing content in some other ways as well.
Absolutely. So. We'll see everybody later.
See ya.